Hi everyone, glad to be back. This is Alex coming at you from Southern California. It's been a little while. I thought I was going to move a few months ago. We ended up staying at the same house for the time being, at least for the next year or so. So it's been a little hectic. Had a trip to Chicago this summer as well. Just been pretty busy with work, but yeah, I've gotten quite a few records. Just wanted to show a handful here. This is what's playing in the background right now. Conrad Kraft. This is from 1987, electronic music. Originally released as a limited edition tape, edition of 50. This was reissued, I think this year, on a small label called Tal Music out of Germany. Really cool, atmospheric, minimal ambient stuff. Didn't know much about this guy. I guess he released a handful of tapes in the late 80s, early 90s. Kind of sporadically released some stuff over the last couple decades. But yeah, this was just reissued recently. They're still available, fairly cheap. There's only 400 of these. So yeah, definitely check that one out. So I'm going to show 3 records that I got. A local Hollywood store from Hollywood called the Record Parlour. Recently had a huge jazz auction on eBay, so I bid on a few items. I talked to the guy. He said I could pick them up locally, so I could save on some shipping. Fantastic stuff. These are the 3 that I ended up winning in the end. Really happy. This one, he actually mailed this one, and it just arrived today. One that I've been looking for a while. Never see this in the wild. There's a promo copy of George Russell's electronic sonata for Souls Loved by Nature from 1971 on Flying Dutchman. Gatefold. So this was recorded in April of 1969 in Norway, in the city of Hovikoden near Oslo. Show the white label promo. Cool. So I'll just read a little blurb here from the liner notes. Its objective was to create a pan-stylistic electronic tape, a tape composed of fragments of many different styles of music: avant-garde, jazz, ragas, blues, rock, serial music, etc., treated electronically. So yeah, definitely fantastic. There's a Electric Miles vibe throughout, but with some avant-garde electronic things going on, and it's really an excellent recording. There's George himself. I want to say that maybe James showed this before. I'm sure I've seen this in the VC before, but yeah, if you ever see this, check it out. Next one here is another one that's been on the want list for some time. Joseph Jarman, Anthony Braxton, Together Alone. Chicago label, Denmark. Really love that label there. and this one is from 1974. It's I'm pretty sure it's just the two of them playing throughout the record, though they do change the instruments that they're playing on each piece. I haven't been able to determine who's playing what on each of the tracks. There's what do we got? We got 6 tracks, 3 per side. And like I said, there's no listing of who's playing what, but yeah, there's definitely some saxophones, some what I think is bass clarinet, some piano playing, possibly by Braxton. There's some electronics, and there's some small instruments and bells on the second side as well. Very sparse, a lot of emotion, and definitely I think Together Alone is very a very apt description of, especially on the first side. Yeah, somber, melancholy, beautiful stuff. Yeah, I think Braxton gets pigeonholed into sort of as being an intellectual, or more of a avant-garde, classical, modern classical guy, but this is absolutely fantastic, and there's a ton of emotion in the playing here. The interplay is fantastic between the two players. So Together Alone on Delmark Records from 1974. Absolutely fantastic record. And the last one here, another one for my USB disc collection. There's actually a sealed copy of the 1967 record by the German vibes player Carl Berger. There he is. A fantastic lineup here too. Carlos Ward on sax, alto sax, Henry Grimes, one of my favorite bass players, on bass, and Ed Blackwell, another one of my favorite drummers on drums. So Carl Berger, I guess he started off as a jazz piano player in Germany in the mid-50s. Met up with Don Cherry in the early 60s, played with him, eventually came to New York, and got involved into right into the middle of the new music movement and free jazz in the mid 60s. I think this is one of his few, if not the only, solo album that he did during that period. I haven't opened it yet. I'm gonna open it here right now. It's not often you get to open a 51-year-old record, and especially on ESP, which probably only pressed about 500 of these at a time. Small independent label out of New York, as you guys know. So here it is. It is very cool custom labels with the Carl. Yeah, looks to be nice and flat too. Didn't get warped too badly over the years. So yeah, I'll definitely do a needle drop on this one. It's a very cool record. Carl Berger, yeah, if you look him up on Discogs, he's got, well over 200 credits. Played with a lot of the great players of the 60s and 70s. And he even played on a Swans album from 1989. Which one was it? I can't find it, but I think it was, the one. I think the Swans album from '89. I guess he plays vibes on that one too. So yeah, I'll let you guys finish the video here with a little taste of this one. Hope everyone is well, and see you guys soon.